You guys, I just want to tell you good morning, by the way. Happy Tuesday morning. We are still definitely flowing in this beautiful new moon in Pisces energy. Um, I had been out of town by the ocean, spending birthday time. I got to have my feet in the big grandmother ocean at the peak. Oh, wow. Sorry, I'm shuffling from the Tarot del Fuego, and the cards are already flying out. We have the Star. Yes, absolutely beautiful energy. I'll take that. But yeah, I went to, I wanted to do this last night, but I was doing my own work as I was coming back from being out of town. And, it was a very spiritual evening. It was a very meditative, in between the veils, getting with your own intuition, your own higher self and guides. So I definitely feel strongly that with any new moon, with any full moon placement, really, you kind of have like a 3-day window. And, as I was taught, 24 hours leading up to 24 hours kind of during that peak vibration of the energy, and then kind of 24 hours after. But you will feel the ripple effects waning in the collective consciousness, in the collective energy. So always do your new moon work, do your full moon work a day after, the day of, a day before. Let it ripple out throughout the week as well. So I wanted to come in this Tuesday morning and check in with you guys. I know many of us have probably, it's been the vibe of like a long weekend, and maybe it hasn't for you, but sorry guys, I had to pause you, but yeah, the energy is just funny. I wanted to check in with you, and it's like I set up multiple times. I had this really chill meditation vibration going on in the early hours this morning, and it's just funny. I don't know, being between the veils and spirit, and I'm like, all right, spirit, are we doing this message, And I tried to set up multiple times, and it was just one thing after the other. But here we are. We'll see. We'll see how she goes. You know what? Listen, there are so many beautiful but very important points to note in the opening of this new moon cycle, in the opening of Pisces season. Of course, this is a very spiritual, this is a very mystic time we had in the last day or two. I haven't even really pulled the exact lunar chart for today, honestly. But looking at it on the new moon, we had the sun, the moon, and the sun, the moon, Venus, Venus ruler Neptune. We have all this Pisces energy, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful for mysticism, for ritual, for meditation, for clearing the way to sit in align with your higher self and do the rituals that are sacred to you. Obviously, anything that you can do to work with water energy is going to be super powerful in this time, even rippling out through this week. Honestly, the whole Pisces season. How do you love water? How do you work with water? I was very blessed to be able to be close to the ocean myself. All right, pause number 2. What is the vibe this morning, you guys? Anyway, but yeah, if what were we talking about? Oh, if you can work with water, whether that looks like being out in a moving fresh body of water, a stream, a lake, standing, putting your feet in creekside, bath rituals, all of these things are going to be really beautiful. Obviously water is a wonderful medium. And like I was saying, all through Pisces season, this is going to be a beautiful time to do work with water. Even if that maybe looks like, anointing your body with oils, working with your plant, gemstone energy and spirits in your bath ritual, creating mist, working with sprays. Water is the most powerful alchemical tool on the planet. I encourage you to speak your intentions, your petitions to the universe, your affirmations to self, work your mantras with water. I have a dish of water. I have different herbs, oils, gemstones. I've got a flower petal. I'm not going to show you the above view because I was actually doing some candle wax scrying, and I want to keep that, for myself. But work with bodies of water, or vessels of water simply on your altar. Votive candles, floating candles, speaking, charging, singing bowls, the intention of water, especially setting a bath or making a tea. Seriously, I won't spin out on it, you guys, because we could do a whole nother video on the scientific side of how they've studied water and what happens when you charge it with loving, uplifting, empowering, very intentional vibratory energy, like your voice. Singing bowls, speaking the affirmations, all these things. Good, beautiful work. So, Pisces season, all of that delicious water energy. So I will say this, March is going to be very, very, very powerful. We do still have Jupiter in Aries. We do still have all planets direct until April. We still have this powerful forward momentum energy. Now, we have come through Imbolg on the Wheel of the Year. We are still kind of in a very gestational phase as we work closer to the spring equinox. But we're also at a place right now on the zodiac wheel. We have all these beautiful ways, and I talk about this a lot. As we come into the calendrical year, we can kind of learn how the energetic cycle really unfolds. It's not so much about marking a date, because we have, as we celebrate New Year, we have, as we celebrate the turn of the Wheel of the Year, we have, the Lunar New Year, and we can kind of understand it's much more like an unfoldment. It makes me think of these beautiful tulips I have up here. I wish I could show you one. The way that they've been unfolding since I've put them on my altar is a beautiful process to really revel in. And we can look at the unfoldment of the year in the same way, and as well our intentions, our creative inspiration, our growth into what this year really feels like, what it looks like, and what we want to do with it. So now on the Wheel of the Year, Pisces will be the last zodiac sign before we rebirth, into this whole set of archetypes. At this point, we're just gonna count the interruptions and keep rolling with it and embrace it. So that's pause number 3. So what we were talking about, though, is that the zodiac wheel, Pisces is the last water sign on the zodiac wheel. So you're kind of feeling this culmination of like, what if I can reflect on feelings, intuitions, the spiritual place, the emotional place that I was in, what was going on a year ago in the spring of 2022, that's definitely coming up. Again, it's so important. And, I don't want to create this idea, something's always got to be cleansed, something's always got to be released, something's always got to be integrated. A lot of times, to be honest with you, it is the case that we're always going to be doing this healing, releasing, growing, rebirthing journey. It is cyclical in nature. But the reason that I reiterate this is because in this cycle, as the Wheel of the Year moves, we really haven't started a big boom of rebirth energetically, Because remember, we're always connected to Gaia and her magnetic grid and the the electric energy of the sun. These things create the seasons and cycles. Now, we can flow outside of them if we choose to. Obviously, we have free will, but it's kind of work harder, don't work smarter. And we don't want to do that, right? We want to flow with the collective archetypal energy, in the collective, in the macro. It will assist us and assist our manifestations, assist our growth, assist our healing on the micro. So it's important to understand that these moon cycles leading up to the spring equinox will oftentimes return you back to revisit a little bit and say, let me just check in with self. Do I need to, especially in a Pisces season, and remember, we have the beautiful gift energetically that all these planets are in forward movement until April. So we can ask ourselves, it's like saying, if I had this big whoosh movement of energy to take me into the spring equinox, to birth, to raise seed, to be prepared for the forward momentum of the spring equinox, of the return of fire energy and all these different things, right? So we want to use this forward moving energy, especially in a Pisces season, to help us wash out, purify, release. It's like looking for any last things, it's like, excuse me guys, I'm an avid go to the gymmer. And so I have a shaker cup and I'm about to shake it. Sorry about that. But we ask ourselves, how can I use this tool? And as I'm saying this, it's really beautiful. I know you can't see it super, super great, but you can see well enough the combination of stars, but there's a lot of energy. Obviously, the star in the tarot deck is the Aquarian card. Let's see, maybe we can zoom in on her and we can get a beautiful, yeah. I like that. The star is the Aquarian card in the tarot, but I love that we're talking about all of this water energy. We are in Pisces season, and there's so much flowing water. So water is definitely a big element. There's even, if you look, it's almost like her chakras down the middle of her body are being cleansed with the element and the art of water. Her arms are fish, which are spouting water, which returns to the earth. So I love the beauty of that. And why it's also really important to note this whole, let me make sure nothing else needs to be purified, needs to be integrated, needs to be cleansed, before I move closer and closer and closer to the spring equinox. Let me utilize this forward moving energy to really, it's like a whoosh feeling, So I'd encourage you once again to work with water, but to also remember something. You know what? And this is what is coming to mind, is Spirit is reminding me, especially with her arms being the fish, her body, her chakras, her meridians actually being illustrated as if water is there naturally, because it is. We are essentially 50 to 70% water. We're these tiny little electromagnetic, powerful energy filled little water vessels walking around. So we are water. We charge, we cleanse, we purify ourselves, just as we do this bowl of water, just as we speak intentions to a cup of tea or whatever the case may be, like a bath ritual. You are actually a walking vessel of water, charging yourself, doing your healing work, doing your releasing work. It's just huge. It's a huge key right now before we get into spring. I love to see the star card. I think it's super important that the star card comes out. It is the Aquarian card in the Major Arcana, and it's a huge movement to understand that Saturn is still in Aquarius until about March the 7th. then Saturn will move to Pisces. And this is huge, and I'm not going to, I think I may make a separate video just to talk about that. But Saturn has been doing different movements that have been very important for about 2.5 years. Okay, now two things are happening. Number one with Saturn is that it's about to complete a 30-year cycle. Okay, number two with Saturn is that, again, after 2.5 years, it's about to move away from Aquarius. And when that happens, there won't be a similar placement again for, I want to say, like another 28 years. So this new moon in Pisces is ending this Saturn and Aquarius chapter. So it's like a whole new journey of Saturn is going to go through not just Pisces, but Pisces is ruled by Neptune. So Saturn is about to shift in a massively different place. And it's just important to understand that this is a huge movement. So it's kind of like after 2.5 years, Saturn is the Lord of karma, the Lord of time. He is, very much a ruler of accountability, responsibility, sustainability, and maturity. And so it's like we're going to graduate to a new level. And Pisces season is saying, listen, this is not only a new moon cycle, but this is a whole new lunar cycle that is super important to work with deeply, because we will open up a brand new year on the zodiac wheel in the sign of in the sign of Aries. But we are also going to shift towards the spring equinox with a whole new Saturn movement, and it's huge. It's super important. So just know, examining yourself, understanding. Let me go back around. Let me understand. I really need to drop into myself, drop into my intuition, drop into ritual, sacred time, whatever that looks like for you. It's different for all of us. Alignment with higher self, right? The star card. Alignment with higher light body, higher spirit guides, cleansing, clearing from the crown chakra all the way down to the root, back up and back down again. Spirit is showing me, especially again with water. If you can get in a bath and, please understand and don't miss the effectiveness of sitting by a lake or a stream, a fresh moving body of water, and putting your feet, or even if all you can do is squat down and put your hands in there. Gaia and her energy, her spirit, her life force, along with the assistance of the sun. That's our mother, father energy, right? I mean, I was super blessed. I was super amazingly blessed to get to be by the ocean on the new moon. And I'm just, wow, I could really nerd out energetically and scientifically about, the body and all these different realignments. But you get what I'm saying? This is a big deal. And sometimes ritual is way more simple. I love a good, amazing, elaborate ritual if that speaks to you, or a good, delicious, well thought out, I'm gonna really spoil myself in the bath ritual, whatever it is for you. But it can be as simple as going out in the sun and speaking to a river, speaking to a lake, preferably if you have a moving body of water, but whatever you can get close to. Spirit is bringing my guides are bringing to my mind. I used to do this thing with mason jars, where you charge water and you shake it and put it in the sun. And if you do that for a day or so, please be mindful. Like, don't, if you're going to put this in a bath, I just feel the need to say, don't let it sit for like days and then pour it into a bath. That may not be healthy for you due to, just bacteria and stuff. Excuse me, I would probably, if you want to set an intention to work with a mason jar of water and then use it or ingest it, like you can do a sun tea. This would be a wonderful energy. Or what I've done before when I want to work with something but charge it with the elements is I won't put any herbs. I'll save like the plant elements for the actual bath, but I'll just do gemstones. Research your gemstones, make sure they're water safe and you can ingest them. And there are lots that are fine to do that with. You can just charge. You can call in the energy of the crystals to aid in the water charging. But these are just some things that I've done personally. What else is going? This moon cycle that's opening, you guys, this new moon in Pisces and this Pisces season, this lunar cycle, what we would call is in a Saturn ingress, okay? It's a huge, my heart is going to take lead. And it's about, because we are going to have Saturn moving into Pisces. It's about, it's funny because we were just talking about mason jars and charging water, because I was thinking a solid container. Saturn teaches us boundaries. It teaches us, yes, blast the heart open. Yes, you are one with your intuition, your discernment. No one is coming to save you. Your heart will save you. It's this big type of energy, but it's with strong boundaries. We don't want to have blocked, repressed emotions. We do want to be moving from an open-centered heart space, but with good boundaries. So this will also be an important lunar cycle to kind of examine what needs to go that that pushes on your boundaries in an unhealthy way. What else do we have? There's just like a lot of Pisces energy in this chart. Mars and Pluto. It's kind of an interesting division in this chart. Like Mars and Pluto are doing something completely different than a lot of what the other part of the chart is. And then we've got a big Neptunian influence, and it's very dreamy. We can maybe feel some division in these last 2 days or over the couple of days, but it's kind of this feeling of divine union, divine harmony. The star, once again, I love because it follows the tower, so it's kind of like a refreshing energy after we've maybe been doing a lot of removal of blockages work, a lot of release work. The star wants us to be refreshed, realigned with what was my hope? What was my original purpose? What was my motivation for this healing journey, or for this creative vision, or for this these goals in this year's cycle around the sun that I wanted to manifest? So yes, it is a huge refreshing energy. It's a huge rebalancing energy, divine feminine, divine masculine energy, yin and yang balance within yourself. It's a big lean on your intuition, your discernment. Cannot reiterate enough to get with your spirit guides, get in meditation. Whatever it is that you do to connect with the higher self, to connect with divine spirit, God, goddess energy, whatever archetypal name that you give this, connect with source. After all, you are all of that. You are the universe is in you, all of it is you. So you want to reconnect in this energy is going to be super important. This Neptunian, this Piscean flow is wonderful for intuition, for divination, for spirituality, again, for ritual, for mysticism. So yeah, I really encourage you guys to get into your ritual, because this is the lunar cycle for it. And again, we want to be prepping for Saturn to make this big move. I keep wanting to delve farther into Saturn and what we're going to be doing. But if I'm able to, I've got a big week of candle work and things going on that I would love to make a video separately to talk about it. But yes, so we have the star, that essentially follows the Tower card in the tarot. And, the star is about healing after trauma. It's about returning to your path, the purpose of your soul. It's like your higher self, your spirit team, your guides, your ancestors, your angelic light body family of the highest good and resonance only, of course, is reminding you it's kind of this vibe, like you're on the right path. I love the simplicity of that energy of the star. It's kind of like this don't despair. Draw from the brightest light. It's remembering, reawakening, Sorry, I keep bumping this camera with my shoulder, you guys. it is like a spiritual gift from the divine, kind of raining down, through the crown chakra. See all the stars, and this is like, it reminds me of, as Mufasa, like, looking up in the stars, and he's telling him that, his dad, they were saying, this is where your ancestors come from, and they're looking at the stars, and it's that vibration of receiving encouragement, coming down through the crown, bringing messages into the third eye. It's definitely big third eye energy, removal of blockages from the third eye in this lunar cycle, receiving messages. It's like a gift, but like in your spirit, so that you can return to hope, so that you can return to light. And it was an illusion anyway. You were never separate from it. You are it. So it's more like a reminder, remember who you are. Remember your convictions. Remember what excited you. Your future is so damn bright if you could only see it. And we have to stoke that vision as we go into the spring equinox. Maybe you're thinking about, again, creative goals. Maybe your creative goal, your project is recreating yourself, healing yourself, manifesting a new version of self. Whatever the case may be, it's like return to your core, return to your light. It's kind of like your spirit guides and your ancestors coming down and saying, do you remember the mission, right? And then we have the Hermit. Yeah, so, I mean, it's definitely a clear message in this cycle, you guys, to spend some time alone in quiet solitude. I really would not say, again, it's kind of like the lace up your sneakers and hit the ground running energy as we get closer to the spring equinox. But now we still have a little more time. We have a little more time to sit with the things that we need to reflect on and release, kind of the dead things is what I'm hearing. And that's okay, because also that is organic matter. If you garden or if you work in nature, those good things in the soil make healthy soil for new things to grow. And we are in the seed planting, seed gestation season. So we still want to sit and realign with our center, realign with our light. We want to kind of ask ourselves, what are the self-limiting beliefs that I need to grow and mature out of? As Saturn is getting ready to leave and move into Pisces, right? We do need quiet time alone, quiet time in nature. I love that the star and the Hermit both have in common that they have, it is light. The Hermit understands that he holds the lamp inside of himself. The Aquarius is the star. So I would say light body guides. If you resonate with that, higher light guides, you're thinking of crown chakra and the chakras that reside above. And definitely meditative states are very, very important. Meditative states, reaching those. I encourage, standard meditation for anyone, and visualization and breathwork practices. Absolutely, please. It will change your life. But this may also look like, sometimes I get really meditative when I run on, when I go on runs or I'm running on the treadmill. Sometimes I get very meditative taking quiet walks or putting my earbuds in, maybe playing binaural beats or, like specific singing bowl, whatever hurts, or even just meditative mantras, just walking in nature. Or in a bath ritual, a guided meditation. There's different ways to get into these states, but make time for that in this lunar cycle. Especially make time for that as February's closing out and we get closer to March the 7th. When Saturn is about to close out this 2.5-year cycle. So I hope you guys are really just kind of flowing in this beautiful frequency. We kind of can play with it, but we can also cultivate release. We I was trying to think of how to phrase it, what I was seeing. It's just this whole breaking the heart wide open. But a reminder that just because we break the heart wide open, these both the Hermit and the Star, they have a very clear, they have a clarity of third eye. They have powerful discernment. They are seeing from a different perspective. And so please remember also that, Pisces season, huge Neptunian influence going on. I don't like to stoke lower vibrations and encourage fear, but I would say have healthy boundaries. For people, this I want to come back type of energy. Protect your dream space. Stay very grounded. Hold firm boundaries. But I'm always going to encourage you. I'm just saying, okay, I'm saying in the ethers, in the 5D, in the dream realms, in the projected energy realms, in the thought forms, and the spells, and things like that, which I'm not going to elaborate on what I do and don't do. All I'm saying is, on the shadow side of a big influx of Piscean energy and Neptunian energy is warbly timelines, sneaky, tricky energy that wants to dip in between. And again, we have this very fast moving current. So it's like in the ocean, things can be flowing around that are not welcome. Do your return to sender work as it is fitting to you. Make sure you reiterate to your higher self, your light body family, your team, your ancestors and guides that you will not carry anyone's karma. We return to sender with love and light as it is appropriate. Do your cleansing rituals. Keep your spiritual hygiene high at this time. And that's the best way. Do you know what I'm saying? Also joy, also doing your own healing work, also owning your own karma and raising your energetic signature, your frequency. When I'm going to tell you, when you tune your dial, you're not going to find people on your station because they ain't going to be there. Now, may they be looking for you? May they be thought projecting? May they be reaching out for the coattails and the ethers and in the emotional space? Of course, this is always going to be so. This is always going to be so, but it means no mind to you. Remember again that we are in the year of the 7. 7 energy is really potent. It's magical. It's highly frequential. It's transmutative. It's powerful. We have our blinders on. We are driving our chariot forward. So they may be grabbing a coattail, but I'm so far up here going in the direction, doing the work that I'm doing, the healing, the manifestation that I'm doing. It's no mind to me. But please practice your good spiritual hygiene. Please do your cleansing work, your release work. And your boundary work as you see fit in accordance to your guides and your higher self. But yes, encouragement, hope, inspiration. Be in a meditative space, stoke, nurture, pour into, and deliciously enjoy ritual and what is sacred to you and what sacredness and what mysticism and what spirituality feel to you. Right now, the Davic grids, the Earth Spirit grids are all very excited in gestation and ready to blossom and popping up and bursting forth. I've already been making rounds of candles and doing creations with first blooms. You're seeing your dandelions, your purple nettles, your first blooming spring trees. And here you are anyway. I'm in the southeast, so you may be somewhere where you're like, girl, we still have snow on the ground. Okay, but you're seeing the first peeking out, the little signs, and enjoy and the spirits, the nature spirits, the Davic spirits, and all these energetic spirits and high frequential energies that reside in Gaia. Celebrate in those. The crystals are going to be your crystals, your gemstone families, your spiritual tools. Take your crystals if you can outside. Let them enjoy this work. Maybe open the window. Let the sunlight bathe in on them. Find a beautiful first note of spring. If you can, give an offering, please. But bring that in and bask in that energy as well. There's a high like Davic spirit, earth spirit energy and frequency going on right now as well in this on the wheel of the year. So that is what I have for you, you guys. I hope that you have a lovely rest of your week. Please make time to care for yourself and have some quiet time in spirit to let your core, your energy, your your meridians, your chakras be cleansed and cleared. Work and be empowered with and honor and make sacred the water. And there again are so many different ways to do that. But as always, I love you guys, and I look forward to talking to you soon.